Eastern Caribbean, VON Radio, from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
From the VON Newsline, this is the VON Major Newscast.
Good evening, I am Tammy Reed in with your VON Major News package for today, Tuesday, May 7, 2019. In our lead stories nationally, nurses are a vital asset to the health sector, so says Nevis's Junior Minister of Health, and Premier Brantley leads delegation to Taiwan. Regionally, Dominica's human rights record to be reviewed by Universal Periodic Review. Internationally, Porsche fined nearly $600 million over the diesel emissions scandal. And in sports, Gale and Hope named vice captains for Windies ahead of World Cup. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, VON.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail. Nurses are voice to lead, health for all. That's the theme for Nurses Week 2019. The week-long observance, which began on Monday, May 6 and culminates on Sunday, May 12, seeks to highlight the contribution that nurses make in improving the health of the nation. As Nevis joins the rest of the world in the week-long observance, Junior Minister of Health, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, in an address, stressed the importance of nurses to the nation.
They are the forefront of healthcare and are essential partners on the multidisciplinary healthcare team. Nursing roles have expanded over the years. Not only do they play an active role in disease prevention, treatment, and care, they have also influenced health-related policies and empowered commitments to take action towards improving their health and well-being. Nurses are ambassadors of wellness who are guided by the principle, every contact counts. They have an integrated and sustained connection to the people they serve and are poised to disseminate important health information to meet the needs of patients, their families, and their communities.
She further explained that nurses will also play a vital role in the decision-making process as the Federation moves closer to universal health care.
They must see themselves as professionals with the capacity and responsibility to affect organizational change and healthcare reform through influencing policy, progress, and structure. Through their leadership and the working of the Nursing Council and Nurses Association, they are able to advocate for higher standards of healthcare and bring their voices and that of their patients to the decision-making table. Their contribution can affect decisions that impact quality of life and ensure all Nevisians have access to high-quality, affordable health care coverage.
Nevis's Junior Minister of Health, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Aviation, Nevis's Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley, has traveled to Taiwan to hold talks with President of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Her Excellency Dr. Tsai Ing-wen. The President welcomed Minister Brantley, stating that the visit of the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, less than a month ago, succeeded by Minister Brantley's third visit to Taiwan, bears testimony to the strong bilateral relationship between the two countries. The Foreign Minister lauded Taiwan for the advances it has made in health, technology, and energy, and that it stood tall as a beacon. Minister Brantley capitalized on the opportunity to thank Taiwan's leader for its model assistance to the national development agenda of the Federation, especially in the areas of agriculture, education, energy, health, information and communications technology, and security. Among the delegation are the Honorable Spencer Brand and Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Premier, Mr. Wakely Daniel. 65 outstanding businesses and 55 employees within various organizations in St. Kitts and Nevis were honored by the Ministry of Labor. The honorees were lauded for the hard work and best practices they have demonstrated over the years in occupational safety and health, OSH. Some of the awardees included, but are not limited to, Inland Revenue Department, Cajola Cristada Limited, Sun Island Clothes Limited, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson Medical Office, Caribbean Cinemas and Federal Express, etc. Senior Minister and Minister of Labor, the Honorable Vance Amory, congratulated the honorees, noting that he is pleased to recognize and celebrate the contributions of individuals and companies toward workplace safety and health excellence. Senior Minister Amory said that the government continues to play its part in ensuring that businesses provide a safe place for people to work. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris has issued a statement on the occasion of Labor Day 2019. It reads in part, and I quote, "Throughout our beautiful Twin Island Federation, workers are taking time out of their labor and are in a celebrative mood in observance of Labor Day. I am therefore delighted to greet you on this very special occasion when we celebrate our nation's workers and their inalienable rights. This day is a celebration of the working class," end of quote. According to the Prime Minister, Labor Day recognizes that work is part of everyone's daily life and is crucial to a person's dignity, well-being, and development as a human being. Labor Day was celebrated on Monday, May 6, 2019. Meantime, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, SKNLP, also celebrated on the occasion of Labor Day and held a march in Bastia. Thousands of persons took to the streets of Bastia on Monday in a show of support to the opposition SKNLP. According to sources, it is to stand against the quote victimization by the Team Unity government. In keeping with the observance of Labor Day, the SKNLP held a pageant on Saturday and a concert on the grounds of the Dr. William Connor Primary School on Monday evening. Finally, the Management Council of the Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park Society is planning to commence a number of initiatives over the coming year with an emphasis on restoration. Last Tuesday, April 30th, the Society hosted its first annual general meeting since the passing of President Sir Probin Innis in 2017. Former Vice President Mr. D. Michael Morton was elected unopposed as the new President of the Management Council. The President serves for a 3-year term. All other members of Council who will serve for 1 year were elected unopposed. Mr. David Lake, who sat on the previous council as a corporate member, was elected vice president. Mr. Schneidman Warner was re-elected to the post of honorary treasurer. Ms. Tony Frederick Armstrong and Mr. Garth Wilkin were elected as governor members, and Mr. Basil Woods and Mr. Walford Gums, OBE, ordinary member representatives. The Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park Society is a membership organization incorporated under the Companies Act and was founded in 1965 for the main purpose of restoring, preserving, and managing the historic Brimstone Hill Fortress. The fortress is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here's another one for the steppers.
Swipe to win big in 2019. That's right, the Bank of Nevis Limited is once again giving you, our valued customers, a chance to win big. Just swipe or use your Bond Visa credit card for US $100 for a chance to win a cruise for two, an iPhone XS, or a grocery dash at Best Buy Supermarket.
Say what?
Sign up for a Bond Visa credit card and automatically be entered for a chance to win. This offer ends August 31st, 2019. So tell your friends and family to swipe to win big with the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram.
Welcome back, and now the regional news in detail. Out of Dominica. Dominica's human rights record will be examined by the UN Human Rights Council Universal Periodic Review UPR Working Group for the third time on Thursday. Dominica is one of the 14 states to be reviewed by the UPR Working Group during its upcoming session. The island's first and second UPR reviews took place in December 2009 and May 2014 respectively. According to the UPR, the documents on which the reviews are based are national reports which are provided by the state, information contained in the reports of independent human rights experts and groups known as special procedures, human rights treaty bodies, and other UN entities. The UPR will also examine information provided by other stakeholders, including national human rights institutions, regional organizations, and civil society groups. The UPR is a unique process which involves a periodic review of the human rights records of all 193 UN member states. Since its first meeting was held in April 2008, all 193 UN member states have been reviewed twice within the first and second UPR cycles. Out of Trinidad, a 3.8 magnitude tremor was felt in parts of Trinidad in the early hours of Monday morning. The University of the West Indies UWI Seismic Research Center at the St. Augustine campus said it occurred west of Trinidad around 2:09 a.m. It was located at 10.88 degrees north and 61.94 degrees west at a depth of 4 kilometers. No damage was reported. In the BVI, the Ministry of Health is pledging to provide support to local nursing, and one of its objectives is to come up with ways to attract more persons to the profession. Health Minister Kevin Malone shared these sentiments in an address to mark the start of International Nurse Week, which runs from May 6 to 12. The minister also applauded the dedication and efforts of all nurses, while stressing the important role they play in the structure of the healthcare system. He added nurses also play a leading role in healthcare administration and the formulation and implementation of effective health policy. Their ongoing efforts are truly invaluable. The theme for this year's Nurses Week is Nurses, a Voice to Lead, Health for All, and the legislator is encouraging all health facilities, both private and public, to celebrate nurses for their integral role and unwavering commitment. Business magnate Sir Richard Branson is reported to be interested in investing in cash-strapped regional airline Liat. Chief of Staff within the Office of the Prime Minister in Antigua and Barbuda, Lionel Hurst, told reporters following a cabinet meeting that discussions had been held with the British business magnate, investor and philanthropist. He said the talks involved helping the Antigua-based Liat out of its struggling financial situation to become a profit-making enterprise. He added that the Virgin Group founder would put his resources into a smaller Liat that would not be able to achieve a profitable status. Meanwhile, according to the Antigua Observer newspaper, the Antigua and Barbuda is having discussions with Barbados Liat largest shareholder to purchase its shares in the regional carrier. The newspaper quoted Hearst as saying that Barbados has indicated its shares in Liat have been a burden on the country. However, he said the value of Barbados' share in Liat has not yet been determined. Liat shareholders met in Antigua last week and agreed to further examine a proposal to host Prime Minister Gaston Brown regarding the future direction of the airline. Finally, out of Guyana, ExxonMobil said on Friday it has funded the Liza Phase 2 development offshore the country after it received government and regulatory approvals. Liza Phase 2 will produce up to 220,000 barrels of oil per day and further capitalize on the significant development potential of the Stabroek Block, where ExxonMobil estimates producing more than 750,000 barrels of oils per day by 2025. Liza Phase 1 remains on track to achieve first oil by the first quarter of 2020. It will produce up to 120,000 barrels of oils per day at peak rates utilizing the Liza Destiny FPSO, which is expected to arrive offshore Guyana in the third quarter of 2019. Pending government and regulatory approvals, a final investment decision is expected later this year for a third phase of development, Piara, which is expected to produce between 180,000 and 220,000 barrels per day, with startup as early as 2023. ExxonMobil is evaluating additional development potential in areas of the Stabroek Block, including at the Turbot area and Hammerhead. By the end of 2019, ExxonMobil will have 4 drill ships operating offshore Guyana. Following well completion activities at the recently announced Yellowtail discovery, the Noble Tom Madden will move to the Hammerhead 2 well. That's it for our regional stories. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. The authorities in Germany have fined the car maker Porsche as part of the Volkswagen Group nearly $600 million over the diesel emissions scandal. Public prosecutor Stuttgart said it had been negligent from 2009 in ensuring nitrogen oxide emissions do not breach regulations. The BBC's business correspondent Theo Leggett reports.
The diesel scandal erupted in 2015 when Volkswagen admitted fitting illegal software to cars sold in the United States. It allowed them to pass emissions tests while continuing to produce excessive quantities of pollution. It later emerged that some 11 million vehicles sold around the world were equipped with the software. They included tens of thousands of Porsches. Since the scandal, Porsche has stopped using diesel engines.
The French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire has warned that record levels of debt worldwide were jeopardizing growth and public stability, calling it poison. He told a forum that the problem affected a number of developed countries, including France. However, Mr. Le Maire said debt has exploded in a number of developing countries and urgent action is required to stem it.
Je pense que le surendettement freine.
I think over-indebtedness puts a brake on the development of countries, limits world economic growth, and in the long run can threaten international stability, because there can be no sustainable growth without sustainable debt. So debt financing must be accountable and must be based on fair rules that apply to all.
The EU and leading member states have sharply criticized a decision in Turkey to rerun Istanbul's mayoral election after a shock opposition win. An EU spokesperson called on Turkey's electoral body to explain the controversial decision without delay. Germany's Foreign Minister Heiko Maas called the rerun incomprehensible. The move was also criticized by the French government, who said Turkey was drifting towards dictatorship. Finally, Indian police briefly detained more than 50 women protesting at the Supreme Court a day after the Chief Justice was cleared of sexual harassment. The activists had gathered outside the court in the capital, Delhi, to demand a fair inquiry into the allegations. Chief Justice Rajan Gogoi has called the allegations false and an attempt to destabilize the judiciary. His accuser, a former court employee, withdrew from the inquiry after questioning its fairness. Protesters want a new inquiry to be held and for the report exonerating him to be made public. That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
See you, John.
Betty, how come you never tell me what's going on up at TDC?
Well, I'm glad you asked because TDC Automotive has some awesome deals. Get the car a new spare tire for just $100 plus VAT. And they have selected tires for 30% off. And for the Jeep, if you buy a selected Goodyear tire, you can get a second one for just $99.
Well.
And not finished yet. They're offering up to 30% off selected Valvoline oils and universal car mats and a whopping 50% off Energix batteries.
TDC Automotive not making no joke. I going up there now.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In cricket, West Indies opener Chris Gayle has been named vice captain for the upcoming World Cup, which is expected to be his swan song for the one-day format. Cricket West Indies announced yesterday that the 39-year-old would serve as Jason Holder's deputy for the May 30th to July 14th World Cup, while young stroke maker Shai Hope will be vice captain for the ongoing Tri-Nation Series here, which started on Sunday and wraps up on May 17th. Gayle, the most experienced player in the Windies World Cup squad, is a former West Indies captain, having led the Caribbean side in 53 one-day internationals and 20 tests between 2007 and 2010. He will be a pivotal player for West Indies in the World Cup, having displayed tremendous form in the recent ODI home series against England, where he plundered 424 runs to be adjudged man of the series. In tennis, Roger Federer's first match on clay in almost 3 years ended with a rapid win over France's Richard Gasquet at the Madrid Open. The Swiss 37 took 53 minutes to win 6-2, 6-3 against the world number 39. Gasquet, playing his first tournament of the year following a groin injury, did not look fully fit. Nevertheless, the 20-time Grand Slam champion was at his ruthless best, delighting a mesmerized Kaja Magica with a majestic display. Federer was making his return to the red dirt for the first time since losing to Austria's Dominic Thiem at the 2016 Rome Masters, having missed that year's French Open with a back injury and sitting out the past 2 clay court swings to preserve his body. In basketball, the Phoenix Suns are looking for stability after their previous coach lasted just 1 season. They hope Monty Williams is the man to lead their turnaround. The Suns announced Friday that they had come to terms with Williams, a former head coach and a current assistant in Philadelphia. He will take over as Phoenix's 5th coach in 5 seasons when the 76ers playoff run ends. They lead Toronto 2-1 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The 47-year-old Williams previously spent 5 seasons in charge of New Orleans from 2010 to 2015, a stint during which he led the franchise to 2 postseason appearances. He is in his first season as an assistant coach with the 76ers. He also played in 9 NBA seasons with New York, San Antonio, Denver, Orlando, and Philadelphia. In cricket, the International Cricket Council ICC today announced the first 8 series of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2 to begin in August 2019 on the road to India 2023. The Men's Cricket World Cup League 2 provides more competitive cricket for Namibia, Nepal, Oman, PNG, Scotland, UAE, and USA, with each team playing 36 one-day international ODIs over 2.5 years from August 2019 to January 2022, where teams are just 2 steps away from the Men's Cricket World Cup 2023. The league will see 126 ODIs played across 21 tri-series, with the first series kicking off in Scotland on 14th August 2019. For the first time in cricket's history, 20 teams will have ODI status, providing more opportunity for ODI cricket both in ICC events and in member-organized bilateral cricket. Finally, in football, Reggae Boys senior team head coach Theodore Whitmore yesterday held the first in a series of camps to begin preparation for the 2019 CONCACAF Gold Cup football tournament. Jamaica is back-to-back finalists at the Gold Cup after losing out to Mexico and the United States in respective championship matches in 2015 and 2017. That's it for the sports segment. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight, fair to partly cloudy skies with only a 20% or slight chance of a brief shower. Weather tomorrow, partly sunny in general with a 20% or slight chance of an early morning shower. Winds east at 22 to 33 kilometers per hour or 12 to 18 knots. Seas 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 4 to 6 feet. And sunrise tomorrow is at 5:42 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Tuesday, May 7, 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, nurses are a vital asset to the health sector, so says Nevis's Junior Minister of Health. And Premier Brantley leads delegation to Taiwan. Regionally, Dominica's human rights record to be reviewed by Universal Periodic Review. Internationally, Porsche fined nearly $600 million over the diesel emission scandal. And in sports, Gale and Hope named vice captains for Windies ahead of World Cup. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tammy Reed, wishing you a pleasant evening.